Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're making chocolate peras or pendas. 4 ingredients in the microwave, 6 minutes, 6 to 8 I should say, and your pendas are going to be ready. The Gujarati video that I made, 6 minutes and they were ready. So we'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and review the ingredients. First of all, let me show you what how they're going to look like. They are fudgy, they're just amazing, and if you cut into it, they're beautiful. And I'll show you once we have them, the hot ones, the difference between the ones that stay for a day and then the ones that we make right away. So let's review the ingredients here. I have got 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter in my bowl, and I have melted it. Now this step is very, very, very important. If you don't melt the butter, the peras are not going to have the same consistency as this. The other thing I wanted to point out is I have taken out less than a very little unsalted butter from the one that I melted, just so that when we roll it, I'm going to have something to grease my hands. Now I usually use ghee, but I'm out of ghee, so let's get started. I've got 2 cups of powdered milk, which is, I use the non-fat, buy it from Costco or Walmart or Sam's. It's non-fat instant milk. I've got a 14-ounce can of condensed milk. We're gonna be putting in 6 tablespoons of 6 tablespoons of natural unsweetened cocoa. You don't have to go with Hershey's. If you want to use another product or another cocoa, go ahead and do so. And that's about it. That's all we need. So, and if you see the spool here that I have of my thread, this is what we're going to be using to design the peras or the pendas. So, in the unsalted butter, we're going to go ahead and add the condensed milk. Okay, I'm going to give that a nice stir and mix these 2 ingredients together. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our powdered milk and the cocoa. And I have the recipe of the plain ones too on YouTube. I will put the link up on the screen right now. So if you guys want to see the plain, how to make just the plain ones, you can follow that recipe. Now, very important that we mix everything until it has combined really, really well. So, and you know, you can always go ahead and sift the cocoa in there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, just depending. Most of the time I have found that by mixing it really well, you can get rid of the clumps of the cocoa, and you really don't have to go ahead and sift it. But if you want to, then you don't have to mix so much. All right. So you just want to make sure this first step is done really well, where you're just going to make sure that everything is stirred very, very well. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting it into the microwave, intervals of every 2 minutes. So I'm going to come back after every 2 minutes to show you the different stages it goes through. So let me pop this in the microwave. 2 minutes. When we come back, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it's going to look like after 2 minutes. You can see, excuse me, you can see some bubbles. You can see some bubbles. It's really nice and warm. So we're going to go ahead, give it a stir, and you can see that the consistency has become a little different. It's you can tell it's the powdered milk is really cooking up. So again, let's put it in for another 2 minutes. So now you can see the mixture has bubbled up a little bit, and so total of 4 minutes at 2-minute intervals, and we're gonna stick it back into the microwave 2 more minutes and I'll show you when it comes out. It's going to be really nice and puffy. I wanted to show you here, but by the time I get it over from the microwave over here, it puffs up and then it goes back down. Now, the reason why I said 6 to 8 minutes is because it really depend on your microwave. You can see that the mixture is leaving the sides of the pan and that it's really, now, the other thing also I want to tell you is you want to mix it with your spatula, and you want to mix it so well. And what you're doing here is you're making the mixture really nice and smooth so that when you start rolling these out, they're not going to have cracks in them. Did you see how you can see that when it came out, it was crumbly? And now just by mixing it, like with the spatula, look at how smooth it has become, and it's going to become it'll come in like a ball. Now, the other thing also that I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in another plate, and the reason for that is that it's just going to help it cool. And I'll let this cool until it's about, depending on the temperature. Today it's not very cold as it was yesterday when I did my Gujarati video, about 5 minutes maybe, just until I can handle it. So when we come back, I'll show you how I roll these up and make them look really beautiful like these pendas here. So the mixture has cooled down, not to the point where it's completely cooled down, but just enough so that I can handle it. You could use a measuring spoon if you like. You could use either the 1 or the 1/2 teaspoon. I just use a teaspoon. You're going to take the little bit of the butter or the ghee, put it in your hands, and take about a teaspoonful, and just want to roll it in your. Now, if you think it's too small, just add a little more. When you're rolling it, the trick to this is that you're applying pressure. And by applying the pressure, you're going to get rid of the cracks. So you're not going to see the visible cracks. And you just take the spool of the thread, and this is what the design comes out as. So it's pretty simple. And this is a great nut-free mithai or sweet that you can even take to mosque, or send somebody who has nut allergies, because most of the mithais that we make have the nuts in there. This is one that doesn't have nuts in there, so this would be great for somebody who is allergic to nuts to have and to devour. So now I promised that I was going to show you the consistency. So if you look at this consistency, you see how it's warm and it just kind of doesn't break. But then you look at the one that I made yesterday, and when you break it, do you see that? So you might have to give it, about 24 hours for the peras to settle down and get a little bit dry. So I'm not going to be taste testing this just because I've been working on this and I've been kind of taste testing it. And I'm telling you, believe me when I tell you, these are absolutely delicious. The cameraman, my son, has been devouring all of them. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. See you then, friends.